How many of us are in the United States, and how many of us are in Israel? Are we all in Israel or in the United States? Some people in New Jersey.
United States, but we have someone from Spain in Madrid.
Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires.
Oh, well.
I'm in the United States.
Joe's from the U.S. I'm in the U.S. Steve's in the U.S. Asunta's in the U.S. There she is, but her microphone is off. I don't know why. I see some people with the mic sound off. I don't know why.
Yeah, we'll put everyone in order in a minute. We're just still in the initial saying hi phase.
Oh.
And the meeting, by the way, is now live on Facebook. I'm sharing a link to it right here. So if anyone, it's in the Zoom chat. So if anyone would like to share that while we begin, so that anyone else can tune in who doesn't want to join us on Zoom.
Natan, would it also be recorded?
It will be recorded on Facebook, and I'll make a local recording on my computer as well.
Thank you, Natan. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you for wanting to do this.
It's an honor. How wonderful to bring these connections together.
Yeah, totally.
She said she's on.
On Facebook? There she is.
Hello.
You're looking for Elisheva? She's here.
I found her.
Okay.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
All right, Nathan, you just let us know when we'll start. I'm going to say a little introduction, and then Yasmine and I will we'll start.
Excellent.
The reading.
We'll just have another moment of looking at everyone's lovely faces, and then when we start, we will ask you guys all to become an audience without your video, so that we can focus our attention on Yasmine and CB. So I think we'll just wait another minute or two for any latecomers, or maybe just 1 minute, because anyone can tune in on Facebook, and then we'll start it off.
Well, it's not like I was planning on tap dancing or anything while it's going on.
Miriam.
I can whip out my sari. I don't know.
Right. I am just finishing up posting, and then we'll be ready.
Oh, wow. Hi, James.
Hi.
Is Hassan coming?
I sent him a message. I know he's in a quarantine.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's all right. Okay.
Aren't we all?
These look like little quarantine boxes, like the Brady Bunch. It was, I think, pretty much in quarantine.
He's in actual quarantine? Like,
I don't know.
Not, well, actual as opposed to voluntary. Like
well, as opposed to, you can walk outside 100 meters from your house.
Is that where you're allowed 100 meters?
Or take out your own trash.
Yeah.
You can go a little further if you have a shopping cart.
Or a dog. No, actually, that's not
Dog,
true.
yeah. Well, no, the dog has
No,
to
a dog is still within 100 meters.
But I thought you were allowed out to exercise. We're allowed out to exercise.
Within 100 meters.
In any direction.
The Hanchayot, what's the word? I have no more English anymore.
The guidelines, restrictions.
Guidelines are
Ministry.
confusing sometimes.
Okay,
guys,
Here
so-
we're allowed out if we have a gun.
There you go. That always helps. So thank you all. Thank you all for coming. We are now going to mute everyone if you're not Yasmine or CB. I'm going to make you guys both co-hosts, and we're going to ask you to turn off your video so that we can focus on them. And what I also recommend doing is clicking, after you've turned off your video, click the 3 dots in the right-hand corner of your video. CB and Yasmine, I recommend this to you guys too, or CB, you're on your phones, it doesn't matter, and click Hide Non-Video Participants. And that'll clean up your screen to only see people with their videos on. So I am now going to hide my own video.
I don't see that. Where?
After you've hidden your video, you'll see it. If you don't see it, that if you only see a couple of videos left, then you're already in good shape.
Okay. Yes.
All right. I'm now I'm now going to mute you guys all. So if you want to say anything, just write it in the Zoom chat, and I will be able to help you there. All right. Let's have enjoy our reading.
Thank you.
I'm actually using a computer in the end, and I don't have that. But I think I'm good. Okay, so welcome everybody. This all started because I wrote a blog for jetcommunity.org when the social distancing started, and I happened to mention Paradise as one of the plays that I had in my collection of plays that would be a great play to read. It's a two-person play, and I wrote a bunch of different plays that are just two people or three, so you could do it within the confines of your home. And Yasmine found out about it. Still not exactly sure how, but and she wrote to our email, drewsomenglishtheater@gmail.com, and she said she would love to do a reading. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. We actually met before. When she did her play, when her play was put up in Terry Shriver Studios, Blood Sky, and she was the resident artist there. I happened to have learned in Terry Shriver Studios, and I was around the corner at Michael Howard Studios, and I went to see the play, and I was in the elevator with her, and I said, I don't remember what I said, but I said some great things, I hope. And she said to me, maybe we'll work together someday. So I don't think either of us imagined that we would be meeting again like this. But it's an incredible opportunity. And today more than ever, I think it's the perfect opportunity to do these kinds of readings, to go back to the plays that you have, to find someone to read with, explore new characters and settings. A lot of people are doing that with the Corona itself, because we really are all in this together. And the most important thing is to stay home and stay healthy. And you could just pull out any book to read, and you can read to others. But these are actual stories, that dialogue that were written, and really powerful pieces. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what I felt about this particular play, Paradise. So what happens when no one has a home to go to, or they were in crisis before this all happened, and now they have to deal with this whole entire new global crisis? If it's a crisis of love, or loyalty or betrayal, like in a family household, there's a crisis in the nation, there's a religious crisis and economic, and we don't even know. There's so many different things that could be happening with different people all around the world. And this is what I asked myself while I was reading Paradise. And what do these characters do? What do? Do we run? Can we? How do we run away from this crisis? Do we have the courage to even choose one over the other? And I really believe that this question is asked throughout this play, in a very intimate way through the eyes of Meena and Raj. I personally am not in this situation, fortunately. And what's interesting to me as an actor and a human being is to be able to explore this and what others are feeling, and stepping into their shoes, and still being able to maintain my own personal experience, but experiencing what's happening as well with them. And I hope we continue to connect to each other through this crisis, and continue to explore these kinds of stories, and understand that no matter how we feel about our situation, we should be aware that there may be someone else that's in need much more than ourselves. So as we read the play, please feel free to jot down any questions or thoughts you have, and we'll be happy to bring those up in the end when we do the question and answer. And if you don't hear us because of the way that Zoom works, just you could write in the chat, and we'll see if we'll be able to go back. Okay, so let's start.
Yes. So I'm gonna be reading Meena, and CB is reading Raj.
And I will read the stage directions with a ghostly voice in the background.
And it starts out with this couple in love, but of different religions, and very in a place of conflict, who love each other very much, but want to be together. So they escape to a place they think is a haven, but it ends up being even more dangerous. So where do they go from there after that? So just to provide a little context to it. Thank you.
All right, so Paradise by Yasmine Beverly Rana. Part 1, Underground. The Present. Meena speaks to the audience from underground, where she has been buried alive after being stoned. Pebbles, rocks, and dirt surround her. She uses the dirt and sand as her security blanket, running her fingers through the grain and smoothing it over her naked arms and legs.
He told me my voice was like a razor, my vision was unclear, and that I was a child who knew nothing about anything. I was an adolescent in a woman's body, and that wasn't right. So he would teach me. I would be his challenge. He told me he loved me, and a lot of other things. He said that I was different, looked different, talked different, sounded different, thought different, ate different. Odd? Strange? No, just better. Better than what? Than what I've known. He told me that loving him wouldn't have been so dangerous, and that our differences, his religion and mine, were merely words, futile, absolutely nothing, nothing of substance, and that no one really cared anymore. What a joke. He told me that I would be a fool, a lonely fool to be so concerned. And who was the fool again? He had no idea. But he discovered later on that we couldn't be. Not there, so maybe here? He would save me, you see, by taking me away and bringing me to another place, another city, district, strangeness, mess that was never supposed to be this mess. And that he knew someone who knew someone who knew someone else here, and all would be fine. Identity, papers, status. There are always ways around those very trivial concerns. And identity is the size of a grain of sand? Even now, despite everything we think, there's always a way, even now.
Sand and pebbles pour through her fingers.
And had we stayed back home, 1,000 small stones would have been thrown at me until I had fallen dead into the ground, and perhaps buried alive. What would that have been like, I wondered? I laughed and said, at least it would have been a dry ground. Raj didn't think it was funny, but I did. He feared being found there and sent back here. He feared being nothing. But for myself, I welcomed it, being nothing, feeling nothing, absent. And was he something here? Were we? We're drowning. We're being buried alive. We've escaped one honorable killing for this one. We're being sealed within this room, within this grave, on this pyre. But there's no honor. There was no honor. Not on a village dirt road, and not on the Mississippi River. Nowhere. To be buried in an unmarked grave in the river, bereft of ash, fire, shroud, dirt, just tears and the water. It's appealing to have never been known, to be in a place where you never existed, to be buried alive, to be stoned, to drown, all in a place where no one outside your tomb breathed your name or touched your skin or heard your voice. Perhaps heard, but not listened, where you were nothing. And had we stayed, had I been underground, beneath a pile of dirt on a village road, I would have asked him, "Can you hear me? I can hear you. Listen." I would have felt you. I would have spoken had you brushed past me, had I still been. But here I am, under the pebbles, under the sand, without light, without breath, with a name, with a place, without honor, with shame. Shame for having loved you, more than I or you or anyone could understand. With air and time running out, here I stand, a citizen with shame. Self-imposed shame, they say. On my knees, face to the ground, mouth in the dirt, skin torn by pebbles and shards of glass, tossed into my grave, dug by my hands, my nails, myself. All for love? Honor? Shame? Stripped of citizenship and home? And buried without a name. Look at what you've saved me from. All that. Thank you.
Part 2, Home. The Past. A bedroom in Meena and Raj's home country. Meena stands at the foot of the bed, while Raj is in bed.
Come back.
No,
Why?
because I'm afraid
Of me?
of where I am.
Well, you were in bed, and now you're not. Now you're standing away from me, looking down on me.
It's this place.
This place, this secretive, hidden, evil, sad place.
I never said that.
And I never forced you.
You did. All right, you did and you didn't.
Dangerous words coming from your mouth. You should watch what you say and who's around to hear them.
It's not what I meant. I would never accuse
What?
you of.
Hurt me? Have me hurt?
You know I wouldn't.
Sad. Always so damn sad.
And how should I be?
A little happy.
Like in the movies?
That'd be nice.
Should I do a little dance now? A little post-intercourse Bali act? Why don't we get some musicians from off the street to join us?
Why not?
I almost forgot everything else just for a moment.
You can. It's not supposed to be like this.
Well, with me, it is. And you chose me. You saw me first. You saw me before I saw you. You spoke to me first. You saw me and you knew me. You knew what I was, so deal with it.
They've really fucked you up, haven't they? Your family, your people, your whoever, whatever. But maybe it's you. Maybe it's your head. Hell, maybe they're not even so bad. Maybe they'd extend an arm upon meeting me and ask me to tea. Maybe it's all you. Maybe you like this.
You know nothing.
I'm glad. I'm glad I don't have to live in your skin, in your head, and know your fear, whether it's real or imaginary. I wouldn't want to know.
But you will.
Real or imaginary?
Both.
Why be here with me?
Because I wanted to.
Something to get over and done with, right?
I wanted you.
The evil bastard who has no sympathy, who basically calls you paranoid and your family crazy.
That's right.
Raj grabs Meena and pulls her onto the bed.
How do I love someone who fears me?
You don't love me. You can't.
Why can't I?
I'm unlovable.
That's easier to be, isn't it? All your problems are solved. All your worries erased. Safe.
That's why I said it.
You're not unlovable.
I wish I could be happy.
You could be. You could forget like before, just for a moment, just for now.
I was stupid and it has nothing to do with you.
Of course, it's all me. But who's going to know anything?
People always know in the end. They sense it. No words even have to be said aloud. They know. You're not afraid?
Of what?
Of being hurt.
By them or by you?
I wouldn't hurt you.
Not intentionally.
You should worry about them.
Why? Are you going to turn me in?
Are you crazy?
Obviously.
Yes, very obviously.
Anyway, I like danger.
The big screen kind or the real life kind?
None. None of it. I like you.
Oh, the real life kind. Because liking me would be very dangerous.
It shouldn't matter.
But it does.
Not to me.
But to a lot of other people.
The simple, humble, poor, uneducated, the cave dwellers.
You would be surprised.
What if we're all cave dwellers, everyone in the world, and we, the ones who think we're not, try to spend our lives pretending we know something else, something more, something better, when in fact, we know nothing.
We don't know anything except what we want or what we think we want.
What do you think we want? A happy arrangement? A big wedding?
To go to a place where no one knows I exist.
What?
You asked?
I expected to hear 1,000 pieces of gold, white elephants. I don't know.
No. I want to go and live in a place where no one knows I was ever born, ever existed.
Impossible.
Not if I'm invisible. I'd walk the strange streets and no one would see me. No one would feel me.
Then you'd be nothing.
That's right. Untouchable. Left alone. No evidence. No bloody sheets to wash, lies to tell, stones to duck from, dust. No more than dust, or actually less than dust. Nothing.
I don't believe you.
Then don't. It's my head, my thoughts. But you should understand.
Why?
Because you're invisible here. Nothing.
That's not the same.
You can't cross over to be something else, someone else, no matter how much you know or think you know. And that's why you want to leave.
Dust. Nothingness can't be loved, can't be touched.
Another benefit, another sense of ease without guilt.
You feel guilt for being with me?
Another wish. I wish I could be happy. I wish I weren't guilty. I wish I were nothing. But it's all in my head, right?
I suppose it comes from somewhere.
It's real. All of it.
And now you can pass it on to me. Am I your excuse?
What?
Am I your excuse to run away just as you could be my excuse to finally leave?
Who's running? I never said anything about leaving.
But that's what this is, your wishes, your fears. I'm the voice you need to hear to pass through the gate. Go on, don't look back, forget them. Just as you're my voice reminding me that I'm nothing in this place, and that I'll remain as dust if I stay here, and that nothing in my life will change, will get better, no matter how much I know, or think I know, unless I go.
It never crossed my mind.
You're a liar.
I'm not. Well, yes, I have become one.
Because of me? How long can you keep this going?
Not much longer.
Lying can be exhausting.
I wouldn't know. I never thought of any of this as lying. I've always pretended to be someone else, something else.
Who were you?
Anyone but me. Any other skin or name or religion or home or family or culture, any but my own.
You hated yourself?
I don't know if it was or is hatred.
Are you still pretending?
Not to you.
So this is real.
I've been so distant from what's real. I think it is. I hope it is.
So say it.
What?
Go on.
Where?
Away from here.
A mythical, magical place where we could be lost.
Say it.
And I'm the mad one?
Let's go.
Let go?
No, let us go.
They kiss and fall into each other. Part 3, Paradise. The past. A cramped apartment in New Orleans, ravaged by Hurricane Katrina. Meena is lighting candles on a dark stage as the only light appears on her.
It's strange who our sages are, in what forms they appear, what voices they use. They're never what we imagine wisdom and superior knowledge to be. We think of that old man in the village square who sits for endless hours with his cane, chewing tobacco, his face lined like the rings of a tree stump that stood forever. Just like the stump, that old fake sage has probably sat in that same sorry chair forever, in that same cow dung caked spot. He advises us, admonishes us, warns us. But in the end, he knows nothing. Just like those fools in the tall offices, in the newspapers, on television screens who bombard us with nonsense. It's nonsense because they know nothing too. And perhaps we are the greater fools because we think they, the old man and our soulless puppets, actually know something. Something that should be revealed to us and direct us. I was mistaken. I should have listened to my sages, the real ones. They were trying to warn me that this was coming, this hell that would use water instead of fire to burn us and swallow us up. And that's what's funny about this freakish existence, because that's where they magically appeared to me, my sages. On Governor Nichols' Wharf along the Mississippi River that morning before these past bizarre mornings in hell. New Orleans isn't a morning city because morning is too damn honest. Morning doesn't give us the time to make up the stories we're going to tell about ourselves later that day. It presents us in our most brutally raw and ugly forms. I didn't want to go to work that morning. I too was dressed by 7 in my brutally raw and ugly form in my hotel maid uniform. I felt ugly inside and out. I don't know why. I just felt and walked in that heat, that very familiar brutal heat. And then they appeared, my sages. One of them, a 14-foot alligator, frighteningly close to the edge of the wharf. I thought he was chasing me. I had never seen anything like him. He was sharp and angry, but focused on this mission he had to accomplish that no one could understand, because to him, we didn't count, not I, nor any other spectator walking along the river that morning. But he knew what he had to do. I looked at him, wondering why he was there. And then I saw her, my second sage. She was his mission. She was his focus. She was what led him to the rocky edge of the river. She was a black cat, the most beautiful creature I had ever seen, with a coat of the most beautiful and blackest fur. Her body, emaciated body, but her eyes piercing, looking at you, the spectator, pleading to be saved from his sharpness and his anger and his deadly intent. He went below the water when he saw that she had spotted him, that she knew he was there. He let her think she was safe for a moment, but then she'd stumble on the rocks. And the second she stumbled and showed her vulnerability, no, not her weakness, but her trust, he would appear, causing her to scramble backwards, higher up on the rocks away from him. She wasn't vulnerable or weak. She was good. She was trusting. She was absolutely and truly trusting and believing that perhaps he really wouldn't hurt her. But it was all a game for him. Who was she? Where did she come from? Who owned her? Did anyone? And why did he want her so much? A few other spectators, some public service workers came and watched, and they laughed. It was a show for them, a free spectacle. They were more excited by the 14-foot alligator, but I was fixed on her. We followed them, this odd pair. I should have done something. I should have scooped her up and run. But I was afraid of him, of how fast he would be, of what he would do to me if I got too close. The others just smiled and laughed at the two of them. I didn't want to see what he would do to her. I was the coward. So I ran away. I'm sure he caught her, frightened her, fulfilled his mission, killed her. She lost before she was even born. She had no chance.
Part 4. Hell. The past. Lights up on the stage. Meena is on a mattress on the floor next to Raj. It is a one-room apartment in New Orleans with a single window. A stool is by the window. The apartment is already flooded. The walls, covered with newspaper and magazine photographs of Bollywood actors, are wet. There are empty beer cans and a compact, empty refrigerator. There is no electricity nor running water. Obviously unable to wash, Meena and Raj are in filthy undergarments. Raj is in boxer shorts, while Meena wears a bra and panties. Raj is asleep. Meena shakes Raj's shoulder.
What?
We have to leave.
Raj turns away from Meena and tries to sleep.
We have to leave now.
No, we don't.
Raj,
Don't call my name this early.
you're hiding.
Your voice is like a razor.
And you've lost your will to see what's in front of you.
I see nothing.
Then you're blind or crazy.
Can't I be both?
Rises and walks towards the refrigerator. Meena follows.
There's nothing to eat.
There's been nothing to eat.
Since when?
Since 2 days ago. Please, let's go.
To where, Meena?
Anywhere.
Raj returns to bed. Meena follows. Raj soothes Meena by stroking her hair.
Fall back. Close your eyes. Don't look outside. Don't look at the ground or the walls or what's above us. Don't look at anything. Don't listen to anything. It'll be over soon.
Meena walks to the window.
So you finally admit there's something happening.
I'm just trying to make you happy.
Happy? Is that what I'm supposed to feel? Let's just go. I see rafts. People are trying to get out.
They're not us.
Maybe they are.
Then they're fools.
They just want to live.
They want to be caught.
They won't be.
Oh, they will be. Anytime. Even drowning time is a good trapping time, especially now.
But we could be anyone. We wouldn't have to be ourselves. We could be anyone else.
Just anyone? What's your name? Where do you live? You don't sound like you're from here. What's your social security number? Driver's license? Oh, so when did you come to this country? Don't remember? Well, how did you get here? Can't remember that either? Why are you here? Really here? But let me check you out. So you're really not supposed to be here, are you?
You think people care now?
Now? Yes. This is the only time they care about people like us. The only time they'd look at people like us. And a broken levee and a river rising wouldn't make any difference.
Okay, so we leave and we crawl out and board a raft and they ask and we answer that we have no name here, no one waiting for us, no papers, no identity, no plan, no present, no future. We ask every interrogation and we answer every interrogation because there's nothing else to say.
Nothing to say? Then you're just like the other fools.
You're cruel.
I'm just honest.
What were you ever doing with me?
Raj holds Meena by the shoulders, takes her back to the mattress.
I didn't mean what I said.
Yes, you did.
You're not in my head. You can't know what I think.
You didn't answer me. Why me in the first place? Was it because of how I looked or how I didn't look or because of the danger? Does it fascinate you? Did I?
You were never a game.
That doesn't matter. It was still a risk. And I'm asking you if that's what made you want me, what made you approach me, made you look at me, see me, just like staying in this room and waiting to drown or starve or kill or to be killed. Is that what turns you on?
I saved you.
Not at this moment.
You would have been dead if you had stayed. Your family was going to kill you.
Because of you.
I loved you.
And now? I know. Me too. It's all so obscure now. I know what I want to feel, but I'm afraid it's been lost in this room these past 2 days. I can't remember what I used to fear before this.
You still fear.
Now I'm being selfish. It's a selfish fear.
Back home, you were being honorable. So that's why you had to leave? Because staying would have been dishonorable?
There was no honor. There is no honor, especially not at this moment. How could there be?
You blame me for everything.
I did what I wanted.
You could still do what you want.
What are you saying?
You want to go, Meena? Then go. I'll help you. We'll break that window and I'll hold on to you and throw you out into your anywhere, where you could be just anyone. Anyone other than who you really are.
Raj looks out of the window.
Any order just seeps away. If there was ever any order, this chaos prevents you from doing anything that was usual, normal. You can't count time anymore because it doesn't mean anything. There's no place you have to get to. No job. No meal waiting for you at home. Maybe there's no one waiting for you at home. You say I've lost the will to see? I can't see. I can't see anything except for the people we once knew who are floating around us. But we can't respond because we can't feel. I don't know what else brought me to you. I'm sorry. I can't remember.
That's all right. Raj, there's nothing left to drink.
What?
No water. Not the good kind. No more beer. Nothing else.
That's too bad.
You'd rather drown, die, than be questioned after everything it took to come here?
Yeah,
You really believe that?
I've believed worse.
There was never really a chance
For what?
to be like everyone else.
Oh, everyone else here? Everyone else who was transmitted to us with their false names and places and houses and magical and mythical villages that don't drown? The ones whom we believed were real?
It was a dream, a stupid one.
Are you sorry?
For what?
Coming here.
No, but I'll be sorry for dying here. I've become like you. Nothing's clear anymore.
We have to stay.
What are you so afraid of? Your loss of pride that this false dream didn't work out?
Confinement. Return.
We're not criminals.
We're illegal, not legal. Wrong, not right.
That's never frightened you these past 6 months.
Maybe it did. But I didn't know. Not until now. I won't be caught. I won't be held. I won't go back. I have nothing to go back to.
And you have something here?
No, I don't.
So why stay? Do you have hope?
No, I just want to be still.
You're such a liar. You don't want to waste that money you spent in getting us here. That's all this is. You cannot admit loss, defeat. What confinement? Return? That's the fear?
I was nothing.
And what do you hear? The fear is us, here, at this time, seeing and hearing what's outside that window, seeing what's inside this room, feeling trapped and not knowing what to do.
Do you want to leave?
Do you?
No.
How could you have done everything you've done and come this far to end it now like this?
You can go.
I want you to answer me.
I can't.
Maybe this isn't happening and there really isn't any flooding, any drowning. Maybe we're just imagining this and this isn't real.
But it is.
You want to kill yourself and maybe me also? But you're too much of a coward to do it directly. So you do it like this. You wait for death to come for us.
Why would I do that?
Oh, confinement, return, fear, false identities, no identities, white elephants, none of it, all of it, only you know.
We've lost.
And I loved you too.
I know you did.
I don't regret following you here.
That admission makes all of this a speck better.
This is real. I believe that. That's all I can believe now, that this is really happening.
Then I believe it also.
And if we don't leave now, we'll die. Can you believe that?
Wouldn't this be an appropriate way to end? Looking back on how we began and where that's brought us?
I don't want to be finished.
You or us?
Both. You're so frightened of leaving?
And you're frightened of staying?
I lied,
Meena takes a beer can from under the mattress.
but that's all there is.
You keep it.
We could share.
I don't want it.
Meena opens the bottle and begins to drink. Both sit on the mattress and are severely finding the effects of heat and lack of food and water.
You were the smartest person I had ever met.
Were?
Up until now.
Thanks.
I remember our first night here when I looked up into the sky and counted the stars and thought, I can't believe I'm here and I'm under this sky and these stars, and how it really didn't look so different from home. And maybe it wouldn't be so different from home. And sometimes it wasn't. This heat, sometimes oppressive, was familiar in some ways.
Not familiar enough.
There aren't any more stars to count.
There are. You've just forgotten how to count them.
Or I don't want to anymore.
More stupid dreams?
Meena stumbles to the window.
It's getting worse.
Monsoons? Floods? Yeah. Maybe this is familiar.
Not here. Not like this. Come look.
Raj stumbles to join Meena at the window.
You're not scared?
I'm not anything. Everyone should know his own place, right? You look at me and think I don't know who I am or where I belong or where I feel safe, home. And I look at you and think I wish I could be like her. And even though you want something so distant, so unattainable, you believe you can have it, that it's yours, just as much as it's anyone else's, and that no one would say you can't have it. You think I have a death wish, that I want to die and take you along with me? But I don't. Not really. I don't want to starve or drown. Yet I don't want to be confined or sent back to where I was nothing. Nothing. Does that make me something here? Probably not. When I walk these streets as me before the flood, the people in this place would walk right past me. Our bodies may have touched in passing, but the people here would never realize it. Wouldn't see it, wouldn't feel it, because you wouldn't see or feel me. Maybe you don't either. Maybe you never have, and that's why you can turn away from me and leave. So what will be left? What will my legacy be? Cigarette butts and ashes in a sink with no water? A garbage bag filled with all worldly possessions? A beer-stained floating mattress in the river? A whisper saying, go on. You think I'm cruel? You think I have no heart, no feeling? I look at you and wonder, how will she remember me? What will our legacy be? This room, these ashes, the heat, this bed, this nothingness. You'll go on and on. Perhaps in many years to come, I'll diminish in your memory. So much so that you may even have trouble remembering my voice, my face, even my name, whichever name you wish to recall. And if I were to live and we were to pass each other on the street in this city when all is almost forgotten until the next disaster, maybe you too would brush past me, as the others so easily can, and feel nothing. Maybe you'll become them. Maybe. Or perhaps not. I hope not. I don't know. Terrible events have always happened. People have always been denied entry. People have always drowned, have always been left, diminished, doubted, if they were even real, if they even existed. Without a name someone can call out in the street, without fear of being found, without an identity, it's easy to question your existence. Am I really here? There's no evidence saying that I am. No one knows me. No one feels me. Maybe I'll be remembered as a bad dream. Something that can't really hurt you, is because a dream is what's imagined, untouchable, unreal.
Meena draws Raj close to her.
We have to leave now.
At least you've woken up. You've come out of your deep sleep of fear. Fear of being stoned, fear of being discovered, fear of being touched, of being held, being loved, fear of staying, fear of returning. All gone.
It's not gone because I don't want to die.
And it's taken you this bizarre moment to realize that?
I've never wanted to die.
Dust. No, less than dust. Poof. Your words. Your wishes.
I only wanted a different life from the one I had.
Well, you got it.
We say things we don't mean.
We do mean them. Maybe we mean them as much as the size of a speck, dust. That's the only part we mean. The rest of it, just words. But the truth's still there. Hidden. Hiding.
I wanted to be free.
You've got that too. This is what freedom is. Don't you know? What it looks like, tastes like, without all the confines of name and place and religion and money and no money and no opportunity and being something, being nothing. This is it. This is what we've wanted. Embrace it.
This isn't what it was supposed to be. It's all wrong.
It was never right, Meena. From the beginning, I loved you. I may still, but I can't see anymore. I can't think clearly except know I did love you and also used you as you used me. We did this to each other.
Come with me. We could stay, invisible, imaginary, unreal, never found, never known, just as we've been. It could be nice, even better, because we've seen what could be worse. And this is worse. Now is worse. This must be hell. I'll be better. I'll be more lovable, less fearful. I promise you. I'll be like everyone else, like those girls in the movies you love. I'll never worry. I'll never think of the past or look over my shoulder or cry at night. I'll always smile. I'll never be serious. I'll never fret. I'll never be sad. Never again. There'd be nothing to cry about because we'd be nothing to all of them here, there, but to us, we would be alive.
Nothing to them, just as I was back home. And now, again, and again, and again, and again, no. No more.
We're in hell.
But it's familiar. Home.
Yours, but not mine.
It's your punishment for loving me.
My life is my punishment for loving you. Being in my head, my skin, that's my punishment. The real one, without the stones and dirt in Mississippi. But why make it worse than it is? With drowning. It's already here. It's already been handed down, my sentence. So why would I want to sharpen the object of execution? And why would you?
Meena, I'll be your voice just as before. Listen, your whisper, saying, Go on.
No.
You listened in the past. You risked everything to be touched, to be held, to be loved. You risked hell, being buried alive. Buried alive. You've already won. Why risk being buried alive here when you defeated it there? That would be tragic. More tragic than never having left home. Even more tragic than letting me go. Because I want to be let go.
You didn't come all this way and risk everything to be let go.
I risked nothing.
Confinement, dishonor, death.
I failed.
And I'll fail if I go, if I leave you.
Meena's interrogation. Meena sits on the stool. Raj stands before her and takes on the role of interrogator, as Meena takes on that of prisoner.
Go on.
Am I underground? Am I being buried alive? Are they throwing rocks and dirt over me?
Did you let him touch you?
Yes.
Did you give your body to him?
Yes.
Did anyone else know or aid in your relationship?
He knew people.
Friends of his?
Yes.
They lied for him. As you deceived your family, shamed them?
That wasn't my intention.
What did you say?
Yes, they lied for us.
Why did you do it?
I don't know.
Did he force you?
No.
Never.
Never.
Where did you first meet?
The cinema, the movies.
What were you watching?
A Bollywood movie, a silly, stupid movie. It meant nothing.
A love story.
Of course.
You both like the movies.
Very much so.
Where was he sitting?
Across from me.
Who spoke first?
He did.
Before? During? After the film?
After.
You told him your name,
Yes.
your real name,
Yes.
and he told you his.
Yes.
And yet, you continued to let him speak to you.
Yes.
You wanted him to?
I did.
Louder!
Yes, I wanted him to speak to me. I wanted to speak to him.
And that was it.
Yes, that was it.
You didn't think it was wrong.
I did, but I
But what?
I didn't care.
You knew what the consequences of your actions would be.
I knew. I know.
And yet, you continued. For how long until you both ran away?
1 year.
1 year. You both lied for 1 year?
Yes, we did.
Why did you do it?
Because I wanted to be loved by him and I wanted to love him. That was all.
That was all.
Yes.
Did you hate your family so much to dishonor them and yourself?
I hated myself, not them.
So that's why you let him touch you. Out of self-hatred?
Yes. But not to continue my hatred, to end it. I wanted it to end, and I thought the only way for that to happen was to be loved and touched and to let someone in, someone who wouldn't hurt me.
But he has hurt you. Look where you are now. Perhaps you wanted to end your life but didn't have the courage to do it. So you continued to be loved and touched and let the responsibility go into the hands of another. Just perhaps.
I don't want to die, and I don't want to be invisible. Not anymore.
But that's exactly what's going to happen.
Would you allow that to happen to me?
It's not my decision.
What will happen to him?
The same as what will happen to you.
He was foolish.
He was.
He didn't truly understand everything. He thought he did, but he didn't.
Did it have a happy ending?
What?
Your movie at the cinema that night.
I don't remember.
Of course you do.
Yes. Yes, it did.
That's good then.
It was. And it can be.
Hurricane Katrina. Meena and Raj cease to be interrogator and prisoner. Meena leaves the stool, and Raj crumples to the floor.
Are we underground? Are we being buried alive? Are they throwing rocks and dirt over us? Have we drowned in these strange waters with their strange sounds and talk? Are we finished?
Not yet. But we will be if you stay and they see me with you.
Don't be afraid. They've already seen us. They know.
This is hell. And it's not where you belong. So you have to go. Now.
Let's go then.
No, Meena. Let go.
Now it's your turn. Take my hand and come with me, and don't be afraid of anything. Let me love you. Do you believe me? Do you believe us? There are worse enemies than law and stones and status. Take my hand and let's go.
But I don't know what I'm for.
You don't have to for now. Just come with me. It hasn't ended.
Raj embraces Meena. The cage. Raj reverts to the role of interrogator and Meena to that of prisoner.
And what happened next?
The real ending? Without the white elephants and pieces of gold? He looked into my eyes and said, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. He had lost. He was lost. And he couldn't find his way back. So he surrendered and removed his hand from mine and climbed back into the cage, our bed, a bed of emptiness, nothingness, familiarity, home.
Hell.
Just as I now sit in your cage.
He hurt you.
No, not really. I know that was all he could do. I thought we were free from the past, but here, in a crowd of unfamiliar voices and sounds, he became confused, embittered, hopeless. They followed us. You followed us.
Why didn't you kill yourself? Not in America, but here, before America, when you started with him.
Why?
Because that would have been the right thing to do.
So I could lessen your guilt in having to kill me?
I carry no guilt.
You will.
Where did you go after his apology?
I wanted to climb inside with him and wrap my body around his, hold him, close everything out, see nothing, hear nothing, fear nothing.
Feel nothing?
Feel nothing? I thought I did, but then I didn't. I didn't want to lose that, but I wanted to lose everything else, just for a moment. And then I stopped myself. I couldn't stay in there with him.
Sure you could have. Then you wouldn't have found yourself back here, with me.
I would have been finished,
But you will be.
but not there.
And you didn't have the courage he did.
Is that what he had?
He showed honor.
He did? To what? To whom? To you? Was it for you I should have stayed in that bed with him?
You thought flight would have saved you? Your flight to and from that hell?
It did.
For a moment. For a second. You thought those you were running to would be your protectors, better than we, than I. You thought they would be your salvation, but they weren't. Because after everything, they sent you right back here to your blood, to your enemy.
You're not my enemy. You're him, the only one I've ever loved. You're myself. We've all found ourselves in the same place now.
Don't try to place yourself in my favor because I won't save you.
I'm not asking you to. I stopped trying to put myself in anyone's favor, Grace, a long time ago. I can't remember when the pretense ended.
Now you're back to being yourself.
You see why I don't care anymore?
I'm curious what you did between the time you climbed out of your cage in paradise and into this cage in hell with me.
That too was hell. It became hell.
What did you do?
I wandered.
You cried before you left.
Oh no. He was very still and just stared at the ceiling without motion, without sound. I couldn't even hear him breathe. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he was already gone.
Maybe he cried for you when you left.
Why would you want him to cry?
Not for me, but for you. To show you he really loved you.
He did. One time he did.
I believe you.
I climbed through the window and wandered past the river, engulfed in the river, in heat, in emptiness, screams, silence, violence, quiet, all of it. But it didn't stop. I didn't want to be still, not out of fear of what would happen, but because of what had just happened. I didn't want to think about him, wonder, remember, regret. All I can say is it was gone. Any trust I had in any person or system or country, gone. He did that to me. Or rather, I let him take that away from me. It was completely broken off. My belief in any one person or thing, whether it be God or home or family or country, the UN or FEMA or religious police, all one. They failed us. So I wandered.
Raj returns. Hurricane Katrina. Raj returns as Meena's lover in New Orleans and goes back to the mattress. Meena joins him.
Wandering toward your nowhere was better than staying here?
Yes,
Why?
I didn't want to surrender.
But you already have. I can see you from where I am. I can hear you. Feel you.
You can?
Yes. I see it all. And I don't understand you.
It doesn't bother me now. I'm not really afraid anymore.
What's different?
Your absence.
I'm still here.
But you're not with me anymore.
You don't console me.
I don't care to. I can't. I have nothing left inside me to offer to you. I gave you all I had.
You left me to die.
And you left me to die when you saw me in that cinema house back home and approached me and spoke to me and touched me and kissed me and loved me and let me go out into my nowhere. That's when you left me to die.
Meena.
And despite everything, you still recognize and remember me and repeat my name without uncertainty or apology.
You could have stayed underground. No one would have known, would have cared.
I wanted to be sent back, to go home. No more. I didn't want it, this place of beauty, pain, memory, ghosts. I stopped envying others. I stopped yearning for a life with the past, for something wished for, imaginary.
Why?
I wanted it to stop, all of it.
But it's there. The fear, the death, the dishonor, the shame. It's all yours now. You handed yourself to them. That makes you just like me. You want them to do it for you because you don't have the honor to do it yourself.
I am you. And that's what drew us together.
And that's how we'll end.
The end.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
Wow.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I'm going to just briefly unmute everyone in case everyone wants to chime in for a moment.
Thank you, CB, and thank you, Natan.
Yes, thank you guys so much. Thank you,
Thank you everyone for
watching.
joining us.
Thank you.
So yes, I think let us move over to the Q&A part.
Share screen.
Okay, I'm now gonna mute you guys again. All right, so we're gonna move over to the Q&A part. We obviously have Yasmine, the playwright, here with us. You guys can turn on your videos if you want so we can see you here with us. If you have a question that you would like to ask about the play, please write it in the chat and we'll pick out a few. Also, if you're on Facebook Live, you're welcome to write your question there as well. Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, Yasmine, before actually we get started, we didn't actually give you a chance to introduce yourself. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about kind of who you are and what you're doing?
Oh, I'm a playwright based in the United States. I live in Teaneck, New Jersey, and yeah, and I was born in New Orleans but raised in New York, New Jersey. And the play was inspired. I'm also a drama therapist and I'm a teacher. And the play was inspired by my reflections following Hurricane Katrina. And I write a lot about identity because I work mostly with immigrant populations. As a drama therapist, I worked in Bosnia and the Republic of Georgia with refugee and returning youth and women. And I've worked with women in trauma and conflict in different environments. And so now with immigrant youth. So I've always been focused on my writing with the identity of the other, of being someone from another place and trying to navigate one's identity in a new environment and who we are and what are we. And when Hurricane Katrina happened, I was very taken by that narrative and wanted to use it to express a point of view of what would an immigrant family do, out of status immigrant family, when there's a disaster, when there's a catastrophe. Do we stay or do we go? And I think when in my conversation with CB, when we were discussing presenting this play, and I think CB can speak to his feeling about how the play is apropos to what's happening today. You're curious about, again, people who are not in status and how they would navigate being in this situation where your identity is revealed and the dangers of that. And also the idea of an honor killing. Here you have two people who love each other very much, and they're from both in India, but they're from different religions, and what her family would do to her once they found out about her relationship with Raj, which was the catalyst for their escape as well. So that's the theme of my work, is mostly women and people of conflict and identity. And I think it's interesting how CB approached. We discussed having this reading at this time.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely feel that the idea of sort of being stuck in a room as a disaster gets closer is something that I was really connecting to during the reading.
Yes.
Although, I mean, I think right now it's a different kind of disaster, but yeah, I don't know. What are some of your reflections? I think you wrote this piece a couple of years ago, right?
I mean, 2007, 2000, a bit. It's a bit of an older play. It was very much post Katrina.
So what's it like revisiting it for you?
It's a very interesting experience because, I mean, as a writer, perhaps I was in another place as a human being, as a writer. But again, as we were reading together, CB and I felt very much in the present with the text, that the themes of the text about home, about staying, of confinement, of uncertainty and trust in leadership, trust in who's going to lead us and who's in this situation. I think it's very appropriate to today. So I felt like it was very much like, even though it was written maybe over 10 years ago, it feels very present.
All right. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm just going to responding to Shifra, who wrote on the chat. Shifra, that's fine. I'm going to ask one more question, and then I'll turn on your mic and you can ask Yasmine directly. So I think you've covered sort of a lot of the bases. One of the things that came up for me while you guys were reading now was the multiple roles that Raj and Meena play, both as the lovers as well as the sort of interrogator and prisoner, which I felt were evocative sort of both this stagnant dynamic between them, but also obviously it spoke to me of the broader socio-political context that they exist in. I was wondering if you wanted to share with us a little bit of your thought process of what drew you to cast them as those two roles.
Yes, I mean, from initially when I wrote this, I thought of just, it kind of built from, it started with the cat and the alligator, and then it grew into the greater piece as it was. And the idea of the doubling, where he takes on the role of the interrogator, I felt it was very much connected to his identity as well and her viewpoint of him. So it's also bringing the audience into the danger of what she was facing in engaging in a relationship with him. And also, you found me first and you looked at me first, and playing a little bit of, I don't want to say blame, but of responsibility of how did we get here? So having him as the interrogator is very much connected to how she sees her relationship with him as her lover, in who found whom first, and in with who engaged in this relationship first, and how did it bring us to this point. So for me, it was a sense of responsibility on him,
Okay.
in casting him in that role.
I just want to answer to that while we were reading it now. And I had asked Yasmine what before this, if they were together in the end, and Katrina or did Meena actually end up returning home. And she said it was a metaphor. And I found really seeing now that the interrogation was really about Raj as well. It was about them having kind of an inner, and I really felt that it was kind of a who's to blame for everything where they went to and where they're coming to.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Shifra, yeah, I'm unmuting you. You are welcome to ask your question directly.
Thank you. It's less of a question and more a fluid response. First of all, kol hakavod, congratulations, great job to both of you. And I wanted to say that as an actor, an artist, and the wife of a psychologist, I appreciated this on so many different levels. The layers and returning themes of identity, lies and truth, home, where is home, where do we feel most grounded, and just the switching of who's afraid, is the fear warranted, especially where we find ourselves now, and those of us that have lived through natural disasters, personal disasters. It was really evocative of so many different things, and I feel like this is one of those plays where so many individuals can relate to it in one way or another, and I hope it gets wider attention, because it's really it's wonderful and thought-provoking, and I will probably still be thinking about it.
Shifra,
at some point. So thank you.
Thank you, Shifra. And may I say, to speak to something that you said that was very profound, is the fear warranted? That is very interesting. Because Raj brings that up a lot. Is the fear warranted? Right. I think, and I didn't even think of that until you just spoke to that. So thank you. And he kind of, I don't know if he uses it in a way with her. I don't want to say manipulation, but is it really warranted? And she's saying, well, yes, it is. But he doesn't.
And they both play that off of each other about, are your fears warranted or mine, and what did we do in response to those fears? I'm thinking about, when there are storms coming, who was the one that insisted on bringing things up from the basement, right. And who would make phone calls and prepare, and who said, just, chill out, and don't get too anxious, because that's only going to make things worse. And there is no right answer necessarily to that, but it was
Thank you. And everyone has a different perspective of fear, I think. And I listening, just looking at Raj and Meena, just how they see things very different. To him, it's going back home to be nothing. Like, that's his fear, right? I don't want to go home where I was nothing. And then for her, the fear is, well, I don't want to drown.
Right. And is he somebody here? Like, where's the safe place? Is there a safe place? Or is a safe place what we make of it, or where we make it?
And for them, maybe they felt their haven was in that little room in New Orleans for that brief period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shifra.
Thank you, Shifra, for sharing. And yeah, I want to invite anyone else who wants to chime in. You guys are welcome again to write on the chat, and I can unmute you. Or again, there are a few viewers on Facebook left here also.
And I just want to say, as we're speaking now, New Orleans is you know, unfortunately one of the hot spots right now for what's happening. You know, I live in Teaneck, so that's a hot spot right now. But also New Orleans is also suffering greatly. Here we are again in this narrative of trauma and fear and uncertainty.
Yeah.
Everywhere, but yeah.
But what I find fascinating about it is we're all living Meena and Raj in a way, because we're all home. We're all what Shifra said basically, that we were just discussing, that we all have those days. No matter what anybody tells you, we're all anxious on some level at some point throughout the day. I don't think it's humanly possible to feel great the whole entire time because of everything that's going on around us. But to recognize that and that we have our ups and downs throughout in our homes, and who's there to talk to. And I encourage everybody. The Zoom has become such an amazing resource. If you're with a spouse, or you're with a family member. I deal with this too in my home. Every day to recognize that there are those different ups and downs. But if you're on your own, we have the technology today to really reach out to others and to connect. That's what this was about. It was as Yasmine said, a serendipitous thing. We connected.
Right.
I think each and every one of us can you do that. I wanted to ask Yasmine something that kind of I said in the beginning that I'm an actor and I like to step into other people's shoes, but this is taking place in a totally different context of where I am at, and just wondering, as a playwright, what do you in today in contemporary times of feelings about people like myself, who's not a Raj, stepping into those roles and playing like it doesn't specify what religion they are, but playing different characters that are.
Oh yeah, I think that transcends. I mean, I felt you really captured the part really very, very clearly and very well. And I think that the work and the passion for the work transcends everything else. And I believe that, you know what, if you have a project that's meaningful to you, if maybe maybe you don't look like the character is supposed to look, but I don't think, for me, that doesn't matter as a playwright. I very strongly believe if you have the passion and you connect, to me, the most important thing is, we discussed this early on, if you connected to the play. And to me, that's all I need. You know, if you connect to the work, that's it, because you're going to present it from a place of true honesty and authenticity and respect. So for me, that's the most important, is if you connect to the piece or find an element where you can connect.
Amazing. That leads me on to something that I was thinking about doing this. We're all storytellers, and I've had a conversation with Yasmine about that. We're all storytellers, and if we're telling other people's stories, that's perfectly okay, because not everyone has the ability to tell their stories necessarily. And if we can do it for them, as actors, as artists, it is such a beautiful thing, and it's important.
Well, I think that's the power of theater, I think, because it allows you to have these multiple narratives on stage. And I think when a piece is sensitively and deeply written, like with Paradise, then the complexity of a character comes across in all of its richness, and you don't get a sort of stereotype that could be damaging if, let's say, an actor who has a different social identity were to play that character. What do you think, Yasmine?
Absolutely. I think as long as, you know, as I said, that you have the connection and the passion, and you want the work, you want to present it, I think that's the most important. That's the most important element. But I also want to speak to something you both said, and CB had said this about this whole Zoom. This is very new to me. I mean, I just started using this, maybe this is only my third time using this. And I'm finding it's that with what's happening, the whole landscape of theater, I feel will change. And I feel that now the opportunities for theater to be in the hands of people who are passionate and want to do it, it will be accessible to more artists, to more actors, playwrights, produce theater. You can create this yourself. You can get your work out there and present your message as an artist. And I think, you know, bypassing sort of the traditional business of it, you know, this is something new, and I think it's going to be very exciting. I don't think it's going away. I mean, when this is over, I don't think this will not go away. I think it's going to open more opportunities for artists, drama therapists, actors, writers, directors, producers to present their work.
Well, and I really want to highlight, actually, sort of building off of that, that if anyone's interested in reading more of Yasmine's work, she's featured on this great website that's called the New Play Exchange, and that's newplayexchange.org, which is, I think, a really great platform because it allows anyone who wants to write a play to become a member and to give their work direct access to you know, audiences and theaters who want to stage their work. Not that play publishers aren't important, but that it often can be a sort of gatekeeping effect that can keep out other more diverse voices.
Absolutely. Can I just share, it's not a plug, but can I share a little story that's inspirational, I think, to all the writers out there? Okay, so Paradise is in the book, The War Zone is My Bed and Other Plays, which is published by University of Chicago Press. And my website is yasminebeverlyrana.com. So that has information. But how did this come to pass? Yeah. A friend who's a director and I, we had a one-act play. You know what we did? We put it on in a bar in New York. Someone I knew had a beer bar, a Belgian beer bar, and he had a space upstairs. And he said, you can use it, go for it. So we put it on there. And who came to the play? An editor of a journal, a theater journal, who published the play, and that eventually led to the book. So I'm saying, go out there and, you know, because we're homebound, use Zoom, use this platform to get the work out, because I think publishing is going to be either, you know, getting your plays out on New Play Exchange or journals or online. That's where people are going to find the work. CB found this play, you know, in the book form, in the text. And I think that is going to be a great platform for more artists to find each other's work, to get it out there online, and to create more Zoom opportunities to present.
Hi, thank you for unmuting me, Nathan. Raising your hand really works. I think in response to what you were saying about Zoom, as someone who's participated in and facilitated and been in every shape and form of Zoom events or productions just in the last few weeks, you're absolutely right that this format, whether it's Zoom or Facebook Live or YouTube Live or WhatsApp video, whatever it is making theater and art even more accessible to people either who were never involved before, or people who wanted to be involved but didn't have a voice or an audience. Now they are able to reach living rooms all across the world, and especially at a time when we're all isolated, either by mandate or just literally isolated. It's bringing so many more people together than it's this interesting paradox where we're alone, but we are connecting with infinitely more people than we would have expected at a time when, you know, nobody wants to feel alone. So it's, I love this platform, and it's great that people are finding good ways to use it. So be careful of Zoom bombing though. Been there.
Oh no. Thank you, Shiv.
Yasmine, maybe I just want to ask maybe one more question that is related to your work before we wrap up.
Sure.
And this is something actually that CB had noticed, which is both in this play and in the title of your collection of plays, the bed sort of features as an icon, sort of a symbol. Do you want to tell us a little bit about sort of, I don't know, what you see in that, what that means to you?
Well, as a set piece, the bed has always been used as that one piece that's the center of birth, of death, of love, of violence. And so focusing in my writing with the plays, there's always a bed and sheets and the metaphor of the bed as that one place. It could be home, it could be love, it could be the beginning of something, the end of something. So the bed is very prevalent in this play as well, but in most of my plays as that point of beginning and end and everything in between. The good and the bad.
Yeah, CB, do you wanna wrap us up?
Yeah, I love that answer. And I wasn't gonna let it go. I was actually gonna ask that question just
no.
Because I did ask at some point during our conversation. So thank you very much. So just to wrap this up, I just want to reiterate that a voice teacher of mine had written something or posted something based on somebody else that basically said the arts are essential. I just want to reiterate that really, especially now as we talk throughout this Q&A, the arts are essential. And we have different platforms to use them, and what has been created before we can look at now and see so much from this. The Paradise was written in 2007, so, and it's still relevant today. So that's just something to keep in mind. It's even more so than ever today. It's kind of ironic that it's not live theater, but it's still so powerful. And we're all storytellers, and we have so many stories to tell, and people are telling so many stories, and they're making coronavirus parodies and all this stuff. And for all the artists out there, we're entertainers, and people being stuck at home, they need entertainment. They need the entertainers. So we're gonna keep figuring this out, and this is happening all over the world, and we could do it together, which I think is really amazing. We wanted to just point out,
sort of in the spirit of kind of the themes themes of the play and some of the work that Yasmine's done. Anyone who this reading has touched this evening is welcome to make a contribution to the Unified Center for helping those who have been victims of sexual assault in Israel. Their website is 1202.org.il. I'm going to put that here in the chat as well. Okay. And yeah, especially at times like these, you know, when you're all stuck at home, that's something that's important too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to say thank you to Natan, to CB, to the JET community. I think this is just, what you're doing is wonderful. And I am so honored to have been, to participate and now to connect with you both and to the community. So I want to say thank you. This has been a gift.
Thank you, Yasmine. This has been an honor. I am so glad that we connected.
Yes.
And thank you everyone for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much. That was lovely.
Thank you guys.
Thanks,
good night.
everybody.
Stay safe out there and continue to connect through powerful art.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Natan and CB. Thank you.
Health and good. Yeah. Good health and good spirits to everybody.
Yes.
Amen.
Shifra.
Safe and sane.
Man. That's right. Safe and sane.
Okay,
Oh,
very
hello.
exciting.
Good day, afternoon, and a Lila Tova wherever you are.
Yes, thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye, Yasmine.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.